Ladies and gentlemen, this is Lions In with another news and commentary. This article is coming from the Daily Mail. You know, this story is very, very, very disturbing. And I know a lot of people don't want to talk about it. Even fellow black YouTubers don't want to talk about this story. But it's all coming out that the FBI, secretly recording, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. of having 40 extramarital affairs, watching and laughing as pastor rape a woman, and they are under lock in the U.S. archive, claim author, according to this article. And a lot of people try to, really honestly, we don't even, let's just say like this, that we shouldn't need to dismiss this story because, we have a lot of people that wants to discredit our leaders like Dr. King and Malcolm X, and this is part of it. So now they claim that the FBI, this has been leaked, that the FBI was accusing Dr. King, which really, by the way, that the FBI is basically going after Dr. King and Malcolm X and other prominent civil rights leaders during that time. But now they say that he had extramarital affairs, and he was watching a pastor raping a woman, and it's just really disturbing and sickening. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this article, and it's just basically, and I'm just waiting for a reaction to even, you know, try to get this. And here we go. And obviously, this is sickening to me because why would And this is why we as black people need to be very careful and very, you know, belligerent on stories like this. So this is according to the Daily Mail. It says secret FBI tapes that accused Martin Luther King Jr. of having extramarital affairs with 40 to 45 women, and even claim he looked on and laughed as a pastor friend raped a parishioner exists, an author has claimed. The civil rights hero was also heard allegedly joking he was founded of the international, and we're gonna end up waiting for more from reaction to really open up this article. But this, to me, so far, is very disturbing, and we need to be very, very careful of what we read on the newspapers, what we see on TV, because just because they post it on there doesn't necessarily mean it's true, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue to read this article because to me this is disturbing, but I'm gonna continue reading it. It says the civil rights hero was also heard allegedly joking he was founded of the International Association of the Advanced, pea eaters, on an agency recording that was obtained by bugging his room, according to the sensational claims made by biographer David Garrow, a Pulitzer Prize winner author and biographer of MLK. Writing in British magazine Standpoint, Garrow said that the shocking files could lead to a painful historical reckoning for the man who was celebrated across the world for his campaign against racial justice. I'm gonna stop you right there. And again, we need to be very careful because a lot of see what they're trying to do, guys, is they trying to destroy civil rights leaders, and then they try to find dirt, just like they did with Malcolm X, trying to find dirt on him. So now they try to find dirt on Dr. King. And now what is happening is that with this article, and for those David Guerra, who's a biographer, a Pulitzer Prize winner, claiming that all this is happening, we really need to tread carefully of these stories. And so again, the FBI is already trying to, just like we did with Malcolm X, trying to find something on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Everybody knows he's one of them. He was a civil rights hero of of our time, And obviously, they're trying to find something. And everybody knows what this is really about. They're trying to protect pedophiles. Pedophiles. They're trying to protect. We always see when white people who molested, and with this Me Too movement going on, now they're going all the way back. They went after Bill Cosby. They went after R. Kelly. They went after Chris Brown. And now they're going all the way back to now Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. because of this. This is really, really sickening. Because, again, this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to protect, again, with the Me Too movement going on, they're trying to protect really they're trying to protect their own colleagues from getting busted, like a Harvey Weinstein, right? So they're trying to protect people like him and trying to find something and make black people, black men, black men, even civil rights leaders like Dr. King, pedophiles. So this is what is happening. So I'm going to go ahead and continue reading this. It says, along with many U.S. civil rights figures, King was subject to the FBI campaign of surveillance ordered by Director J. Edgar Hoover in an effort to undermine his power amid fears he could have links to the Communist Party. And we're going to really wait more on reaction of this article. This is disturbing and downright sickening. And obviously, again, like I said, this is really an example of, we already know what black people wanted when it comes to reparations, and they're trying to do whatever they can to not let that a main political issue. So I'm going to continue reading. It says, the FBI surveillance tapes detailing his indiscretions are being held in a vault at the U.S. National Archives and are not due for release until 2027. The first FBI director was responsible for making the intelligence service what it is today, but used tactics which many thought were unethical. Hoover was mainly concerned about what he considered to be subversion, and tens of thousands of suspected radicals were interviewed under his directorship. Some believe Hoover exaggerated the potential dangers of subversive characters. He had also been criticized for going too far and overstepping his brief. Hoover founded a covert dirty tricks program under the name COINTELPRO to disrupt the Communist Party. He went after big names such as Charlie Chaplin, Malcolm X, Ernest Hemingway, Muhammad Ali, Jane Fonda, and John Lennon. He spied on the celebrities using methods such as wiretapping, infiltration, forging documents, and spreading false rumors. Some have even alleged COINTELPRO incited violence and arranged murders. In one particularly controversial incident, a white civil rights worker was killed by a member of the Ku Klux Klan who happened to also be an FBI informant. The FBI then spread rumors that she was a communist and abandoned her children to have sex with black people involved in the civil rights movement. FBI records later showed that Hoover personally communicated these rumors to President Johnson. Even President Nixon said he did not fire Hoover because he feared he has too much dirt on him. Hoover's actions came to be seen as abuses of power, and the tenure of the FBI director was later limited to 10 years. But David Garrow, a biographer of King, who won a Pulitzer Prize for his 1987 book, Bearing the Cross, about the Baptist minister, was unearthed the FBI summaries of the various incidents. In an article to be published in Standpoint, Garrow tells how the FBI planted transmitters in 2 lamps in hotel rooms booked by King in January 1964, according to Sun Times. FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover ordered the surveillance of King in an effort to undermine his power amid fears he could have links to the Communist Party. The intelligence service carried out surveillance on a number of civil rights figures and suspected communists, and they had an interest in smearing their reputation. The recording from the Willard Hotel near the White House show how King was accompanied his friend Logan Kurz, the pastor of Baltimore's Cornerstone Baptist Church who died in 1991, along with several female parishioners of his church. In King's hotel room, the file claims they then discussed which women among the parishioners would be suitable for natural and unnatural sex acts. The FBI document said when one of the women protested that she did not approve, the Baptist minister immediately and forcibly raped her as King watched. He is alleged to have looked on, laughed, and offered advice during the encounter. FBI agents were in the room next door but did not intervene. The following day, King and a dozen others allegedly participated in a sex orgy, engaging in acts of degeneracy and depravity. When one woman showed reluctance, King was allegedly heard saying that performing this act would help your soul. Senior FBI officials later sent King a copy of the incriminated tape and called him evil, abnormal beast, and his sexual exploits will be on record for all time. The letter also just suggested he should commit suicide before his wrongs were revealed to the world. King's philandering has long been suspected, however. Garrow, who spent several months digging through the archived material, said he had no idea of the scale or the ugliness of it and his apparent indifference to rape until he saw the files. He said it poses so fundamental a challenge to his historical statute as to require the most complete and extensive historical review possible. Among the revelations is a claim by a prostitute who said she was involved in a threesome with King, which she described as the worst orgy she had ever experienced. His wife Coretta often complained he was hardly with her, and even said he would spend less than 10 hours a month at home. An American historian and author, 66, has frequently written about the civil rights movement in the U.S. His 1986 biography about King, Bearing the Cross, won the Pulitzer Prize for biography. He has taught history at a number of universities across the U.S. and also written about Barack Obama and his reproductive rights. The distinguished researcher details some of King's affairs in his original biography, but he said he was not aware of its scale until now. He also published The FBI and Martin Luther King Jr., a work that analyzes the relationship between the intelligence service and the civil rights leader. According to the FBI report, King even said she should go down and have some sexual affairs of her own. There is even a suggestion in the files that King fathered a daughter with a secret girlfriend in Los Angeles. Both the mother and child are alive but refuse to talk to Garrow. Dr. King was assassinated in 1968 by James Earl Ray, but many conspiracy theories suggest that the government was involved. Small-time criminal Ray was caught trying to board a plane at London Heathrow on a fake Canadian passport. He pleaded guilty to the killing and quickly recanted, claiming he was set up. The conviction stood, and Ray died in prison at the age of 70 in 1998. He had been serving a 99-year jail term. Marking the anniversary of Dr. King's assassination last year, President Donald Trump issued a proclamation in honor of Dr. King, saying in remembrance of his profound and inspirational virtues, we look to do as Dr. King did while this world was privileged enough to still have him. The president was heavily criticized by some speakers at MLK commemorations around the time of the anniversary as they complained of fraud, race relations, and other divisions since he was elected. Thousands marched and sang civil rights songs to honor the fallen leader in April 2018. Among the largest gatherings was a march through the Mississippi River, city where the civil rights leader was shot dead on a motel balcony. In the immediate aftermath of Dr. King's assassination, there was race riots across the country, from Washington, D.C. to Chicago and Baltimore. A national day of mourning was later declared by then President Lyndon B. Johnson following Dr. King's death. From 1971 onwards, Martin Luther King Jr. Day has been observed to remember him. But it wasn't until 2000 that all 50 states took part in a national holiday. The last three being, we're going to wait more until reaction, finish. Okay, here we go. But it was in 2000 that all 50 states took part in a national holiday, that the last three being Arizona, Utah, and New Hampshire. In 2016, the U.S. Treasury Secretary announced that images from the iconic I Have a Dream speech will be among several to feature on the back of American Bank's notes from 2020. So, I'm going to say this, and, what is happening is that they're trying to destroy Dr. King. And we already know about the FBI and the COINTELPRO, what they're trying to do with these leaders. They're trying to silence black people, especially now when it comes to, we were fighting we're coming to reparations. And all of a sudden, they want to discredit Dr. Martin Luther King like they did with Malcolm X, like they did with prominent leaders before them. So now with this allegations, and again, this is basically a concern only because, people talk about that Dr. King had extramarital affairs, and, Mrs. King hardly don't see him. And again, we really don't know if that's true or not. So now, they want to find dirt on leaders, and this is really concerning, ladies and gentlemen. So I believe this is the end of the article. But ladies and gentlemen, this is a concern, guys. Dr. Martin Luther King, one of the most prominent civil rights leaders of our time. And now you have people that want to destroy his credibility with claims that he had extramarital affairs. What they're trying to do, they're trying to cover up with this Me Too movement going on. They finally want to find dirt on, with not only with celebrities but prominent civil rights leaders, and this is the proof of it. So tell me what you think about this. Like, click, subscribe, and remember to click the notification bell for all the news and commentary. With that being said, this is Lions Den signing off. Deuces.